Hey guys, this is Mr. DePay from NFT Handshake. Today I'm going to show you how to use rarity-based bidding. This is a very exciting technique that really can give you a lot of profit. It's a little more complicated, but not too much. And our tool, NFT Handshake, can support your bidding on rarity-based tokens. And when I talk about rarity, we talk about Rarity.tools. It's the biggest platform out there and is the most respected and the one that most people actually use to look up the rarity range for any token, right? So let me explain to you how the system works and what rarity is. So if you're totally new to rarity, you go into Rarity.tools, you go down here on the left side and you can pick any range, like we can do the top 50. And these are the rarest ones in this collection. And if you sort low to highest, like we have here, we can see that the cheapest one in the top 50 is priced at 8.5 Ethereum. So it's quite expensive, right? And there's almost nothing available for sale. Now, these are the most rare ones, which is also pretty obvious, really well designed and everything. And you could go to top 200 as well, and then you will see the price will drop a bit, 6.6, and there's a lot more available for sale here, right? So that's how rarity works. Usually the more rare they are, the more expensive they are. That's pretty simple. And for some collections, rarity is not really something people use. So you'll see the same price or very similar price throughout the collection. And then there are other ones where the rarity really matters a lot. That's more the rule than the exception, to be honest. Okay, so how can we profit for this? Well, we see these different ranges, right? Like the top 200, the floor price for this range is 6.6, right? So just think about that. There are tons of different floors within each collection. And most people, when they're bidding, they're just bidding for the floor price of the entire collection, right? And so that's completely different and not something that, not something that we necessarily want to do. We probably want to bid on, well, if we want to make a lot of money, then we can bid on other ranges that are a little bit less common, but nonetheless really profitable. So our tool can actually give you the floor prices of all ranges. I've put in a predetermined range spectrum that you can use because I've used that a lot and it's worked really well for me. So if we use Atom Bomb Squad right here as an example, I can click on Rarity Floor Price Range, and it will give me the floor price for all these ranges right here, all the way down to 10,000. It's pretty interesting, right? Like you can see that the top 50 is very, very expensive at 10 ETH, and then it goes down in a linear fashion. It gets cheaper the more common it is. And we can see that the more common they are, the less people care about the price. It's almost the same, right? It doesn't matter if you're buying a top 3,000 or top 5,000, right? The price is totally the same. But as they get more rare, people start to collect more. People start to care more about the NFTs they have. And the prices are more defined for each tier. And that's something I want you to pay attention for. The more defined they are for each range, the more people appreciate the rarity of that range. And that's a great sign. That's something that will probably mean that you can sell it faster, right? So how do we put all this together? I put it together in an Excel spreadsheet, and you'll have access to this in the video, no problem. I'll link it below. But I put together every single thing. The first thing is I put in all the rarity ranges, the same as you just saw within NFT Handshake, which you can use later on to bid. But I've also added in my expected bid price, right? So I'm going to bid 60% under every single floor, right? Like that. And if I bid 60% under and relist it at 95%, so floors 10, I'm listing at 9.5, floors 2.7, I'm listing at 2.57. That means this is what I can expect to profit for each single flip. And we can see that what I'm expected to make is much more than traditional flips that you see when you're using the floor price of the entire collection, because there's nothing to give from down here. It's so little. But up here, there is just more room, which is quite exciting. Like the last piece of the puzzle, which you can probably guess, is what does this liquidity thing mean, right? Why did he put that in there? It's the most important piece of the puzzle, and I'm going to explain to you how it works. Because basically you might see, whoa, okay, I'm just going to bid on the top 50, right? Because I can bid 6 and I can profit almost 3 ETH per flip, which sounds amazing in theory, right? Okay, but is anyone buying anything for 9.5? Well, let's go have a look. We can use Nansen.io for this. It's a really nice tool. It's paid. It's $100 a month, but it's well worth it, especially if you're on our gold tier list. You're probably not going to think that $100 is too much to enable you to get something done as well as it can. But I'll show you a free option as well, which can easily make it work too. We go down here to the individual transactions, and in here I'm doing my little technical analysis, my support levels, if you will, and I will look at all the sales and use my knowledge, because I've done it 100 times, to understand where there's support, where's their liquidity, right? Obviously, if we're going to sell it for 1 Ethereum or 1.5, you could sell it instantly, right? There's so many sales down there. But what happens if I want to sell something for 5, right? Well, there's 1 sale in the last week above 5. So that's not liquid at all, which means that if you go back here and you wanted to bid on this range, you're not going to be able to sell it, right? Like, you're going to have to be extremely lucky to sell something at that range. And we are all about consistent flips that we can build a system around and just profit over and over and over. So we don't want to bid on that. What we do want to bid on is something with support, and my support for Bomb Squad would be around 2.5 ETH, maybe a little bit lower, maybe 2 even, because I can see plenty of sales above 2 every single day. And I'm not afraid that if the price drops that I cannot get rid of it for around 2. So 2 to 2.1 would be my support level here. It's not an exact science, but try to use common sense. You want to see plenty of sales above your own support level, so you have a room for error. That's really, really important. If you want it to be super conservative, you could be like 1.7. Because there's plenty of sales that you can take everything just below that line and use as well, right? So knowing that, we're going to go back in and say, okay, our top was like 2.1. So I'll put that in here. That's our targeted realist price, 2.1. And I've gone all the way down to here. Now, why did I do that? Because the floor price of the collection is 0.85. If I'm bidding 0.66, then I'm just bidding what all the other bidders and butters are doing, and I'm going to get outbid instantly. But if I'm bidding 0.75, no one's going to outbid me. If I'm bidding this, nobody's going to outbid me. And if I bid at 1.2, no one's going to outbid me. And why? It's because it's way above the floor price, and people are not using this strategy. So people are going crazy when they see the bids. They're like, why is this guy bidding so much? Well, it's because we're bidding on the rarest ones in the collection, and we're doing that because we know we can resell it for great profit. So in this instance, I would start bidding on these. I was set up in our system right now. But before I do that, I will just show you the free option as well. It's called compass.art, and you can just go type in any collection, scroll down to the 7 days sales, and just, it will be 1 as standard. Just click 7. And you can see the same here. You can make your own support line. Again, shows that 2 is a great support line here because there's plenty of sales above. And you could go down to 1.7 if you want to be conservative and just be sure that you're not going to make any mistakes. So that's a free option as well. But knowing that, these are the bid ranges I want to submit, right? The reason why it's 501 to 600 is because I don't want to bid on these up here, right? Like that's already predetermined. That's a different bid up there, and there's no liquidity. So 501 to 600 for this, and then 601 to 700 for this one, and 701 to 800 for this, and 801 to 900 for this. I think you can kind of understand the system when you see it like that. So how do we launch the bids? We go back into NFT Handshake. We have already scraped the collections, but if you haven't scraped the collection, just add new collection in here, find the collection in Opensea, and just take the URL of the collection, go back in here, insert it, save and back, and it will start scraping instantly. I've already done that, and we can see here that the tokens are done an hour ago, the rarity is done an hour ago. Same with the floor price, right? So everything is good to go. I'm going to go into the bidding module. Already done a few of the bids, 2 of them, in a different attempt to record this video. But as it's quite advanced, I wanted to re-record and make it sound a little more simple. So I've done 2 of them. So if we go back in here, I've done these 2, so I can mark them white or something to show that I don't have to bid on it anymore. We can launch the next ones, 701 to 800 for 1.2. So let's go into the bidding module, select the collection is already done, my wallet, and it was 1.2. I'm going to go a little bit higher in case there's a bid around there. I just want to outbid that. That's fine with me. Expiration date, 8 hours, because I'm actually going to bed after this video, so I want to leave it overnight. I will never recommend this if you're doing the floor price of the entire collection, and most of you guys know that already, because it's much more, well, you're going to get outbid all the time. That's the thing. And here you're not going to get outbid all the time because there's not a lot of people doing this strategy. So you will have to bid for yourself. Like you're going to have all the guys submitting their low bids for 0.66 or whatever, and then your bid is going to beat all of them. So it's fine to have longer expiration times here. But if I was awake and I was able to get back on my PC, maybe I would do 3-4 hours just to be a bit more optimal. Anyway, the token range, let's just verify again, 701 to 800. So go into Rarity, 701 to 800. My expected sales price, I mean, it's optional, but I like to put it in because I want to confirm what I'm doing to not make a mistake, 1.9, and save it back. So that's done. I'll launch the next range now. I'm just going to mark that that's done. So we got 2 bids now for the same one. So I can do 801 to 1000. I can do 2 in one go. So that just makes it a little bit easier when it's the same one. So we'll go back in again, select our wallet. Yeah, bid is 1.19. It's basically the same, but whatever, we're just doing this to show it. And the token range, what was it? 801 to 1000. So what you see here is I'm doing 2 floors at the same time because they have the same price, right? So that's why I'm doing it. And expected sales price was, what was it, 1.89? And so that is good. Let's save that. So you can see it takes 2 minutes for this one, 8 minutes for this one. It's not a lot of tokens, so it's really fast. Let's do the last one. So this is okay. And then we're doing one here for 0.89. And that is token 1001 to 1200. Pretty easy. And what was my price? It was 0.89. So now the price is really going down. And I'm going to put 0.91. And expected sales price is 1.42. Easy. Is it right? Yes. I like to confirm the details here. I want to be sure that I'm doing things right. So that's why I sometimes double check things as well. And that was the next one. We got one left, and this is a double as well because it's the same price 2 times. I actually know that the botters on this account bidding for the entire floor price, they are bidding like 0.66. So even these 2 bids are going to be pretty good as well. So it's going to be 1,201 to 1,600, and it's going to be 0.75, 0.75 to 0.77. Rarity range was 1,201 to 1,600. There we go. And expected sales price was at 1.19. Yeah. And that's it. So that was pretty fast. We set up a lot of bits. There are 4 threads going right now. 2 already done. And that's it for this one. You know, I could do it. This is something I do sometimes. I get a little bit cheeky. You know, I'm gonna bid on the rare ones as well. Like I know there's no support level for them. I can only sell it for 2, right? But I could bid 1.3 for all these up here and get lucky. And sometimes I like to do that as well. So I might do this little bit here in the end. So I'll do 1, 2, 500, 1.3. So that would be the last bid I'll submit. It's a little cheeky bit. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes I won't do it because I'd rather use my lucked up Ethereum for something else. But in this case, I'm fine with it. So it's going to be 1 to 500, and the bid is going to be 1.3 to 1.25, and range 1 to 500. And expected sales price is, it's going to be like 2.1. And that is just a little cheeky bid we can put in there and see if we're going to win something. Safe and back. Great. So all the bits are done now. That's how you do rarity bidding, guys. Obviously, this was a collection that I liked. We saw that there's liquidity for this range here, not the rest. We did submit bids for the above, but we only went with a price so that we can sell it for 2. We don't have to sell it for 9. Obviously, if we get lucky, we might try to sell it for a little bit more. We also found out that the rest is irrelevant because everyone is already bidding this amount. I'm going to get outbid straight away. This is not really rarity-based bidding. There are other collections. I've also done other ones in here where there's more defined levels. Here's Great Boys. I think this one was also quite interesting. And I've done the Kaiju Kings as well, where I saw a lot of opportunities. There was liquidity basically for all these. And so because I could easily sell it for 4.75 and I could easily submit all these bids. And so that I might try that as well. It's really good. But guys, you can easily do this research for any collection. Just put it into your Excel sheet. Look up the liquidity, use compass.art or use Nansen if you have a bit of money. And just put in your support levels. Find a collection that is stable as well. I cannot say that enough. Don't put a collection in that's going downhill or just launched and it's going crazy up and then there's a big dump. And use our tool to simplify it. NFT Handshake can really easily handle it. We can see how many threads we're running at the same time here. And we submitted these bids so fast. It was just too easy almost. And I will do this for 10 collections. I'll set that up and I'm going to win something 100% by the time I wake up tomorrow. I'm going to list it. I'm going to look forward to some nice profits. So that's rarity bidding, guys, using NFT Handshake. Let me know if you have any questions below the comments, and good luck with this, which is available on our gold tier for all members. Thank you.